Drive back under with the crossover, down the front straightaway, move P32 up to P2.
Bobby Pierce, the Napa go for 50 at Deer Creek by 2 1/1000ths of a second over Hudson O'Neal. Here comes the current points leader, sporting that Midway sheep and alloy spoiler. Ricky Thornton Jr. to the top around his third-mile bull ring. Right now, Davenport has led the first 3 laps here tonight.
Jonathan Davenport with a 1.4 second advantage over Bobby Pierce. Chad Simpson now coming under fire from Kyle Bronson there on the left side of your screen, side by side behind him in a battle for position number 5. Garrett Alberson has it. Ricky Thornton Jr. trying to take it away, and RTJ by half a cat's whisker that time at the stripe.
Yeah, Thornton had a good run here a year ago, July, in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Did not get the finish he wanted, and right now Davenport still continues to show the way. He's about a half a lap from picking up the tail end of the field. Bobby Pierce second. Simpson, great battle there, trying to go 3 wide into turn 2, Dustin.
They do go 3 wide. Ricky Thornton Jr.'s the meat in the sandwich, as Garrett Alberson's got a good hot rod in that Roberts Racing 58. He's going to try to drive back down to the bottom. He and RTJ have been side by side nearly the entire race. They both work around the 40B of Kyle Bronson. At the front of the field, it's still JD by 1.6 seconds over Bobby Pierce. James 6 making 7 laps now scored.
It is Chad Simpson, Garrett Alberson, Ricky Thornton 5th, and it's Bronson, McCready, Dalton Wilson, Shepard, Overton running in 10th in 76. So Brandon Overton started 4th. He led a good part of the race, the first part of the race there at Wheatland last weekend. So they're still trying to figure out that 76 car here to get back to victory lane. And right now, JD trying to make it 3 in a row down the backstretch.
We double it up for you at home. We always keep one camera on the race leader should anything happen. Battle for 3rd on the right side of your screen. Bobby Pierce has changed his line. He's trying to reel in the race leader, Jonathan Davenport. Line change or not, it may not take long, because JD James is quickly closing in on the back of the field. And man, oh man, he has got a hornet's nest of cars to work through, this time by 10 laps scored.
Yeah, they're slicing and dicing back there. Thornton has moved into 3rd. Chad Simpson remains in 4th. Garrett Alberson in 5th. McCready up to 6th in car 39. And right now, Davenport, you're right, he's going to go to the top shelf, and that'll allow Bobby Pierce to close. Last time around it was 1.4. We'll check it this time.
This time by, it is not 1.4, 1.2. So Pierce able to trim 0.2 of a second off Superman's lead. Now Jonathan Davenport may get bottled up behind some of the cars at the back of the field. Bobby Pierce on the high side. James making up wholesale ground. 12 laps scored. He's cut the lead down to 0.8.
Oh man, traffic in Huset. We've had a great show so far tonight as they roll into turn 3. It's Davenport, Pierce, Thornton, Simpson, Alberson out at turn 4. It's going to get closer to turn number 1 as Bobby Pierce goes to the outside. Dustin, we've got 13 in the book, so they go 50.
Sparklers and snakes, as my good friend Jay Van would say there for the 32. They're swapping where they're running on the racetrack. Pierce will go high 1 lap, he'll go low 1 lap. It's almost like he chooses a different line than Davenport in almost every corner. And as those 2 drivers do that, James, here comes Ricky Thornton Jr.
The guy always running 2nd or 3rd has the advantage. Davenport cannot see in front of him as these 2 can. We got a good battle into 1. Davenport trying to get around Dennis Erb Jr., the final car in the lead lap. Down the back straightaway, Thornton to the outside, and Ricky Thornton Jr. will move to 2nd to the 20 RT.
He started 6th, he's up to 2nd. Throw a blanket over your top 3 cars as they drive into your living room, this time by 15 laps now, 16 laps now in the books, and 0.8 of a second separates your top 3 cars. It's Chad Simpson 4th, and Garrett Alberson right now rounds out the top 5. Here comes Ricky Thornton Jr., here comes Bobby Pierce.
Thornton wants to keep that number 1 ranking in dirt late model racing as they go to the bottom. Here comes Thornton for the lead. They're side by side in turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, JD is led from the start. Thornton takes the lead. It's only official at the loop coming out of turn 4.
Jonathan Davenport's led every lap of this race. Hey, get to the loop, and JD's able to sneak back by, yes, by 9 1/100ths of a second. Now Ricky Thornton Jr. back down to the bottom, trying to bring Bobby Pierce with him. Davenport forced to make the high side work. 20 RT momentarily clears the 49 off the corner. The 49 grabs a handful of concrete. You've got a new race leader. It's Ricky Thornton Jr. with 19 laps scored.
Dustin, we're not even halfway. We're 6 laps shy of the halfway mark as they'll go to the outside into turn number 3. Here comes Pierce on the outside. Pierce has that advantage. Davenport bogged down in traffic, and here comes Chad Simpson at 25. We've gone caution-free so far with 20 in the books, 30 to go in the go 50.
Trouble for Ricky Thornton Jr. He slows dramatically coming off turn number 2. Makes a hard, no, not Ricky Thornton Jr.
I said correct,
it was Dennis Jr. Oh, my goodness. I just gave everybody a heart attack, myself,
including
and you
myself,
included, yes.
And Todd and Vicky Burns as well, and all RTJ fans.
My apologies. Two blue and orange cars. We're reeling it back in. Ricky Thornton Jr. now has stretched out to a near 2-second advantage over Jonathan Davenport, Bobby Pierce, Chad Simpson, and Tim McCready. All right, we've reined it back in now.
Okay, and Herb makes it back. Now Thornton works on the outside of the 16 of Tyler Bruning down the main straightaway. We stay green all the way. He gets around the Iowa driver. Davenport still second. Pierce, Chad Simpson. And then it's McCready, Alberson, Shepard, Wilson, Overton, Bronson in 10th.
This time by going to put 24 laps on the board. One lap shy of halfway. We'll give you a rundown through the field. Ricky Thornton Jr. there is your race leader, 1.3 seconds out in front of the 49, Superman Jonathan Davenport. There's a good look at him with the damage on the right rear of that race car. Crossed flags being shown to the field. There's the 32 of Bobby Pierce running third. Behind him now is the 25 of Chad Simpson. Simpson runs fourth, and there's a good look at the 39 of Tim McCready. McCready, James, rounds out the top 5. There's 6th place Brandon Shepard in the B5. He's followed by the 58 of Garrett Alberson. Alberson right now in 7th. Dalton Wilson behind him in 8th. There's Brandon Overton. He's dropped back to 9th. And the 40B of Kyle Bronson now going into turn number 1. Rounds out your top 10 cars. Bronson comes under fire from the 1 of Tyler Erb.
2-lap cars now between your leader Ricky Thornton Jr. and Jonathan Davenport. Those are Matt Costner and Max Blair. Thornton working now behind Mike Marlin, the final car in the lead lap. Mikey running right now. Dustin in position number 19. Ricky Thornton Jr., he's got to be careful. Davenport, remember what happened to him with Dustin Hodges Saturday night at Lucas Oil Speedway. Here comes Pierce on the bottom to both get around Max Blair. Now they've got the 66C of Costner they're going to get around, and we'll see what happens here as we still have 21 to go.
You know, this thing looks like it's maybe taking a little bit of rubber down in turns 3 and 4, James. Hard to tell, though, because there's still few guys like Hudson O'Neal, Tyler Erb, and a few others trying to rip the cushion around the high side of this racetrack. Overton up there occasionally as well, but in turns 3 and 4, for the most part, most guys have kind of migrated to the bottom. You can see a little bit of a black streak down there. 1 and 2 maybe still wide, but it's a razor-thin cushion at the very high side of the Speedway. 30 scored, 20 to go.
Yeah, Devin Moran about to go a lap down right now. Came into this race 2 consecutive runner-up finishes. But got off to a bad start, and then he raced ahead to replace the drive shaft. Hudson O'Neal got in the wall in qualifying, and they have not recovered from that. And Ricky Thornton Jr. sporting that Midwest Sheba DeLorean spoiler now, trying to make a move. Here comes Pierce, has gotten around Davenport with 32 complete, 18 to go. So Bobby Pierce, Ricky Thornton Jr. now, he's got to get around the 66C of Costner to have a shot at it near the end if this thing stays green.
Yeah, and RTJ not giving up that very bottom of the Speedway, and that may tell us what we need to know as he's able to work by the 99 of Devin Brandon. Now he'll try to sidestep the 22 of Daniel Hilsebeck over in turns 3 and 4.
He'll work the outside of the Earl of Iowa driver, Lucas Oil MLRA regular into turn 1. Ricky Thornton Jr., the current Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series championship points leader, rolls into turn 3. He's already won over $300,000 just in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series with bonuses, winner circle money, and winnings. And right now, his greatest season he's had, 16 to go.
James, this is about to get interesting right here because there RT is able to sneak back down to the bottom. RTJ kind of got hung to the outside right there, and you see what happened. Bobby Pierce was able to close in considerably on your race leader, but now that lapped car of Devin Moran in between your leader RTJ, Bobby Pierce, and Jonathan Davenport. And Pierce now trying to work by the 99 of Devin Moran.
He's got to get around him and get around him quick because we've got 15 laps to go, 35 in the books here in the Go 50 at Huset's. Ricky Thornton Jr. their second, Bobby Pearson 32. Moran a lap down. Davenport runs in third. Chad Simpson fourth. McCready is fifth. Off at turn 4, they head into turn number 1. He's got to stay on that bottom. Does RTJ. Bobby Pierce not running for points. Will he take a shot to the outside here if this thing stays green, Dustin?
You know, there's still a little bit of fluff weight around the high side of this racetrack, or a little bit of a cush up there, but it's almost maybe too thin, and I'm looking maybe especially right in the middle of 3 and 4, and especially on corner entry down in turn number 1. This time by 11 laps remaining for your race leader, Ricky Thornton Jr. Now Bobby Pierce may be forcing the issue a little bit with the lapped car of Devin Moran.
Got to get around him, and we'll have a battle to the end here between the top 2 drivers in Dirt Late Model Racing and the latest DirtOnDirt.com poll, Thornton and Pierce. As they come out of turn 4, Davenport is there as well, looking for a good points run for him. Again, he's climbed to 4th in the championship points run. Chad Simpson is still 4th rather. Then it's McCready, Shepard, Alberson, Wilson, Overton, and Bronson is 10th. And this thing may go green all of the way here. We'll just have to wait and see. And Moran's just doing what he needs to do because he's running for points as well, and does not want to fall her back as he battles here in front of Pierce and Davenport, Dustin.
And more importantly, James, I think all of these drivers know that this is the first of 3 nights of racing action here at Huset. 7 laps remaining in tonight's General Tire Go 50 presented by Dixie Chopper. Ricky Thornton Jr. took the lead on lap number 19, and he has led ever since. He got to the front of the field at just the right time from the 6th starting spot. And now, James, as they come around this time by through turns 3 and 4, 5 flanges in the air, 5 laps to go for your leader, Ricky Thornton Jr.
Looking for his 13th win in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series here this season. Valuable championship points out of turn number 2. Bobby Pierce cannot get around Devin Moran. Davenport will follow him out of turn number 4. And 4 laps remaining for the Martinsville, Indiana native, or driver, a native of Chandler, Arizona.
Yes, that's right. Native of Chandler, Arizona, now calling Martinsville, Indiana home in that SSI Motorsports entry as Bobby Pierce still committed to the bottom of the racetrack. James, you got to wonder if he may throw a Hail Mary here again, like we said, if he's thinking, you know what, this is the first of 3 nights of racing action, and I'm going to be content hanging on to the 2nd spot. They come around this time by popsicle sticks in the air, 2 to go.
Thornton into turn number 1. Still Pierce. Chad Simpson's had a good run. He stayed up there in the top 4 all night long. That's where he runs right now. McCready behind him. Remember McCready in that battle with Davenport and Moran in that championship points run. As we've got the white flag is out, 1 to go. And he took the lead at lap 19, and he's going to lead to the checkers.
Not going to look back. Checkered flag in the air. The opening night winner of the Silver Dollar Nationals. The Go 50 winner is going to be the 20RT of Ricky Thornton Jr. Bobby Pierce will finish 2nd. Jonathan Davenport 3rd. Chad Simpson 4th. And T-Mac Tim McCready going to round out the top 5 at 9:39 p.m. Central Time. The entire show finished here at Huset Speedway. It was Brandon Shepard 6th, Garrett Albertson 7th, Dalton Wilson 8th, Brandon Overton 9th, and Kyle Bronson unofficially rounds out the top 10. And I stand corrected. I was looking at the timing when it froze on us earlier. So that is way off the record. But I can tell you this. I can tell you that it was RTJ, Pierce, and Davenport, your top 3, as the 20RT makes his way across the scales. And they'll put the jack underneath the race car and do the droop check to make it official here tonight at Huset's.
Again, a 50-pound burn-off as we go to the droop check. Well, as I mentioned, over $300,000. He will add to that $12,000 here tonight and a shot at $53,000 here on Saturday. And again, tonight, it is for championship points. However, it does not have any effect on the lineup for Saturday night. They'll determine that in the dual heat races here tomorrow night.
So there's a good look at Ricky Thornton Jr., Anthony Burrows, Chris Jaco down there.
Yeah, Burrows leans in, pats him on the helmet. Job well done. And they're a little disappointed in the heat race tonight. But he doesn't get the win in the heat race, but he wins the overall battle here tonight. Ricky Thornton Jr., your winner here tonight. The General Tire Go 50 presented by Dixie Choppers. This entire Silver Dollar Nationals weekend presented by My Race Pass, as Ricky Thornton Jr. will pick up his 13th Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series win of the year, 16th of his career. Hard to believe he had 3 coming into this year, and he's piled up 13 on top of that. 21st overall win, and he pads that advantage atop the Midwest Sheet Metal for the Midwest Sheet Metal points lead atop the Big River Still chase for the championship, presented by ARP as we head toward Eldora Speedway, October 20th and 21st, the Dirt Track World Championship. The winner that night, very likely going to be $300,000 richer, $200,000 from the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship, and $100,000 to win that race. But tonight, $12,000 richer, as in the 7th running of the Go 50, we have a 6th different winner, as Ricky Thornton Jr., his 2nd time here in a late model, and he picks up the win as we wait on getting the final preparations down here for Lucas Oil Victory Lane here tonight.
And Ben, you know, he's been hearing Bobby Pierce's footsteps the last few weeks trying to get that #1 spot. Hey, these guys take a lot of pride in this. They want to be the top driver in the country, and the top 2 run 1 and 2 here tonight.
It means a lot to them. There's been some people come along that wants to sponsor cash for the driver of the year, and I told Michael Rigsby he'd be crazy. These guys already want it bad enough. You attach some money to it, they'd really be getting upset. But Ricky Thornton Jr. pulls into Lucas Oil Victory Lane here tonight at Huset's, the first of 3 nights. This Brandon, South Dakota Oval. As the family comes down, Shay, his wife's got the whole gang down here, and I'm telling you, it's like 6-pack when they roll into town. As we'll talk to your top 5 from Penske Shock's top 5. Definitely the Big River Still top 3. Waiting on Ricky to climb out of this race car. The Dayglow Orange Midwest Sheet Metal point leader spoiler on this race car. And race fans, he's out of the car. Let him hear it. Ricky Thornton Jr., your winner here tonight. $12,000, and as big a year as it's been a minute since he's made his way on top of this Big River Still podium. The Todd and Vicky Burns number 20 RT, Dyno 1 Hoker Trucking on the side of this Longhorn Clements entry. Ricky, I'm going to do you a solid. You got a little piece of confetti here. We're going to pull that off. Hey, man, you got to the lead on lap 19, and that was all they wrote. They said you couldn't pass. You came from 6th and got it done. How were you able to do it?
Man, it was wild there. I don't know. I was really good right through the middle of 1 and 2, and it was like it wasn't clean, but there was just enough traction where you could kind of get through it. So it was pretty cool. But I got to dedicate this win to Grandma Pat, say hello to Todd, Vicky, Austin, Megan, everyone back home. Pretty awesome. I feel like this is a really big sprint car place, so it's pretty cool to come in the track be as good as it was.
You've had a heck of a year, but it's been a minute since we've been back here to Victory Lane by your standards on the year. Tonight, I watched the heat race, got away from you late. Did you think when that happened that you may have given away your chance in the feature?
I did a little bit. Bobby's been really good probably the last 2-3 months, so JDB's been really good lately too. So although we're coming back, I think I started 12th here or something like that last time, and I got to the lead. So I knew I had to get a really good start and just not get myself mired back, but I got my donkey over here running up and down the car, but no, I got to give a big shout out to Hoker Truck, Big River Still, Mike Certified Inspection, he's here, Jones Racing Products, Bill Stein Shocks, Longhorn Chassis. My brother keeping it looking nice. I put some tire marks on it tonight, so probably need another right side, but Midwest Sheet Metal. There's so many good people to help us get up and down the road. My wife, my boys, my little girl, my mom, and my nephew JJ who flew out, and a guy in Jenny too. So hopefully we can be this good here come Saturday and just see how we go.
You might need a new nose. The kids have declared war on the nose of this race car. Final thing, Ricky, you got lap traffic late. It seemed like it was starting to latch up a bit there. How hard was it to stay patient?
I mean, luckily you got the board there on the back straightaway, so you can kind of see how much of a gap you had. And with having Jaco back there, we didn't quite get our signals perfect there for the heat race. I think it cost us, but it was really good there in the main. So luckily you got a signal guy, you got a board you can kind of watch. And I don't know, it's weird. It's like it started to lock down around the bottom, and then it got like really slick again, and then it started to again. I was really trying to get by Hilsa back there, and I really couldn't. And I almost let Devin get back by me, and I'm like, all right, just get in line. If someone's good enough to roll around, you just let them go.
Race fans, let him hear it. Ricky Thornton Jr., your winner here tonight at Huset. He's on top of the Big River Still podium, as we will catch up with your 2nd place runner, Bobby Pierce, the Oakwood, Illinois driver in his debut here at Huset's. Bobby, early in the feature, Jonathan Davenport's leading, you close in on him, and what went through your head when you saw the 20 RT duck to the outside?
Yeah, I knew I got a pretty slow run there through 1 and 2 on the bottom, and at that time, just our car wasn't as good as his, and he got that middle going there. And after that, I knew it'd be pretty hard to pass him back, and never really got the opportunity with the rubber. But at least they know, for Saturday, anyways, what track prep they got to do and go from there. So not worried about it one bit. I think they'll get it dialed in, and Fun race, though. Being the first time here, these guys got a race up on me, so we kind of got a notebook now, and heading into the big show tomorrow and Saturday, we'll see what we can do.
Do you feel like you're back in Illinois a little bit at this place?
Oh yeah, for sure. I said this track reminds me almost to a T of Peevely, Missouri, and I mean that's almost in Illinois. And anyone that asks, I always say that's one of my favorite racetracks to race on. And this track reminded me a lot of Peevely. I knew it'd be all right tonight. And I got to give a huge shout out to all the fans watching. A huge shout out to all my sponsors, especially we got a new sponsor on this hot rod here, Fast One on the hood here, Fast One Speed Shop. They got a pretty cool deal. Check out their website. And all my other wonderful sponsors, Rio Grande Waste Services, Hooker Trucking, Mississippi Valley Transportation, Carnegie Towing, Bloomington Normal Truck Performance, Ted Brown, Extreme Electric, Buddha, Jeff Lika, A Plus Vacuum, Bill Steen, Longhorn, Vic Hill Engine, Swiss Springs. Everybody, huge shout out to them. And congrats to Ricky on the win. He drove a heck of a race.
Race fans, Bobby Pierce, his debut here tonight. He's second. Rounding out the Big River Steel podium, Jonathan Davenport and JD. The win streak's broke, man. I tell you what, you had a heck of a run in it. Tonight, though, was it a disadvantage to lead early in this one?
No, I don't think so. I just was too tight there and was having to get too bent, and I gave my guys a little bit of body work to do. They need a little practice. So, no, I don't think it was a disadvantage. Obviously, it rubbered up there at the end, and so that's where he needed to be, is in the lead. But I don't know. I guess Ricky was just a little better, and he could move around. And then I heard Bobby on the inside of me, so I didn't want to chop him and wreck us both down here getting in turn one. So congratulations to Ricky and Bobby. That sounds kind of weird, don't it?
It does. Here, we'll work this way a little bit. There we go. All right.
But anyway, just thanks to my guys once again. They worked their tails off on this thing, and once again, I got them a little body work to do. But just thank Nutrient Ag Solutions, AC Warranty, Dynagrow Seed, Bill Stein, Longhorn Race Cars, all of our product sponsors, obviously. Thanks to all the fans watching here, everybody back at home watching on Flow, and we got 2 more nights, and see if we can get a little bit better.
Your defending Silver Dollar Nationals champion, Jonathan Davenport, comes home in third. He rounds out the Big River Steel podium. And Penske Shock's top 5. Your 4th place finisher, Chad Simpson. And I tell you what, Chad, you weren't here last year, and you come here tonight. You start the week with a top 5. How big is this for you and your team?
That's huge for me and the guys. Hats off to them guys. They bust their butt here, and it's a unique place. It's a little bit different, and we come out of here. I knew winning that heat race was going to be big just to start up in the front of this deal, and even there late in the race when we caught them lap cars, I couldn't do nothing with the lap cars, and but good run for us and good start for the weekend.
Race fans, Chad Simpson comes home in 4th. In 5th, out of Watertown, New York, Tim McCready. Tim, you guys have been digging hard on this race car. You've been working hard. You won this race a year ago. You got into the top 5. Obviously, things latched up late there. But do you feel like over the past few weeks you guys made a gain here tonight?
I mean, I think since Saturday at Wheatland, we were struggling a little bit. And we went to work, did a little bit of practice, and just trying to look at stuff with this car that used to work good and then doesn't seem to be transferring over. But it was if there's a such thing as a good 5th, it was a good 5th. I mean, we went forward all night. Qualifying, I'm just making mistakes as a driver. So, we'll take it as a positive. I just need to work on some stuff. If I could get up in the infield and de-wedge the car a little bit, it helped. So I just got to go to the notebook tomorrow and just sit down and think about some things. And I know the track, obviously, it won't rubber ever again, probably the way they'll prep it. So it's cool. I mean, this is a neat little racetrack, and I'm very happy that all the guys are in this pit area race like they have on a track like this, because it's really tight and it's a lot of fun when we race like that, and it'll be a great weekend.
The Paylor Motorsports number 39 for Tim McCready. He rounds out the Penske Shock's top 5. Guys, how about that? 5 different states in your top 5 tonight, but atop the Big River Steel podium, Ricky Thornton Jr. as he adds to his points lead.
Yeah, just it's Ricky Thorne's world, and we're just living in it. He's back. It's hard to believe it's been a few weeks since he's been to victory lane. As I said, Bobby Pierce putting on the pressure on him after that Napa go for 50 win. But
and how about this? The Dirt on Dirt top 3 drivers in the country were your top 3 finishers in order with Ricky Thornton Jr., Bobby Pierce, and Jonathan Davenport. By the way, I loved JD's line of congrats to Ricky and Bobby there.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have this track ready to go tomorrow night, and we'll have dual passing point heat races, and then, of course, the big feature on Saturday.